Alright, everyone, here we are. Alright, so now we are going to be watching Ultima 2. Just want to make sure that this thing was recorded. And, yeah, let's get into it. So we're just we're fishing and we're just watching Ultima 2 and just seeing how the shit was made and just seeing how some old games are just like, holy shit, people had to play that shit. And you're just like scarred for life. But let's learn something about it.
I'm here, and I'm back with an analytical playthrough of Ultima 2 Revenge of the Enchantress. I'll be comparing it to the first game in this series. Watching my video on Ultima 1 isn't necessary, but if you're interested, I'll put a link to that in the video notes. If you enjoy this kind of content, let me know in the comments and share the video around. I'm looking for work as a narrative designer and game writer, so the more eyes I get on my channel, the better my chances. This is going to be an informative playthrough with a focus on the game's design and the experience of playing it. I'll be skimming over the grinding, and Ultima 2 has a lot of grinding. There are also large areas of the game world where nothing of importance has been implemented, and I won't be bothering to visit those parts as that would require yet more grinding. I'll be playing through the version available on GOG.com, which runs through DOSBox. This is your best bet if you want to pick up a copy, though it was also released for the Apple II, Atari ST, C64, Macintosh, and a few different Japanese computers. Ultima 1 had done well enough, inspiring Richard Garriott to drop out of school to focus on his game production entirely. He also took the time to learn assembly, moving away from Apple Basic. His big inspiration this time around is the Terry Gilliam movie Time Bandits, from which he lifts the notion of time gates and traveling to a mythical time of legends to defeat the final boss. He links this to his big hit Ultima by saying that Minax, the titular enchantress, is the protege and lover of the first game's boss Mondaine. The second major element he takes from Time Bandits is the cloth map showing the location of the time gates. He was so adamant about including this as part of the game that he went with the only company willing to produce it, Sierra Online. We're also provided with the game's backstory in the manual that comes with the game. This tells us a lot more than Ultima 1's manual did. We learn that the darkness arose once again following the defeat of Mondaine under the auspice of Minax, the Enchantress of Evil, an apprentice of the evil wizard who grew to eclipse his power. She manipulated civilizations to an apocalyptic war in 2111, the survivors spreading through history through time doors. To return the timeline to its proper state, you need to find and eliminate her. The game offers a zero explanation as to why the setting shifts from the fictional Sosaria to Earth between games, with the manual even claiming that it was Earth that the evil wizard was plaguing in the first game. The truth is simply that Richard Garriott didn't feel like time travel elements would be as effective in a world the players didn't have context for. He decided to use Earth instead. Well, sort of. The general physical layout of the continents is similar. This is eventually retconned into Minax seeking revenge against you specifically for having killed Mondaine, and in Ultima 3 we're back to Sosaria again. The takeaway here is that while Garriott did want the games linked, for the first three at least, there wasn't much an attempt at consistency. But back in this era, player expectations generally weren't high, and this was probably a good deal more ever than they'd seen in earlier RPGs like those on the Plato Network or the Apshai trilogy. We're also given a map of the galaxy, by which the game means solar system, providing us with XYZ coordinates of the known stellar bodies. This gives us the foreshadowing that, once again, we'll be heading off into space. Okay.
So I just want to point out real quick with the map that he was talking about right here. So we're at, like right at 310. Map was fucking cloth, bro. Like, you know how cool that shit fucking was? Imagine, like, I haven't seen a game case, like, when they're, like, sending out packages, like, maps and stuff. They're just paper maps. Dude, this motherfucker got a cloth map to send to his people who bought this fucking game. That's awesome. Like, that's fucking cool. I would totally hang that. I would still have that if I bought this game. No, of course I wasn't like even fucking alive yet, but like a cloth map. Imagine like getting that for like one of your maps, like playing Dark Souls, or even for this fucking game, like a full cloth map that just looks and it's just nice. It's beautiful. Like this one's pretty simplistic, but they could do so much better with the modern day technology. It's just what they had at the time, and simplistic, but it looks it's pleasant. You know what I mean? I like how he just basically copies it from like our world. Like, yeah, America, you guys recognize this shit. Just create his own fucking map. He's like, nah, now let's just use the world we live in now. We're just changing it. Still kind of neat, but yeah, that's cool. I really wish that we would get cool shit like this from games. Like, it would just been cool. All right, let's get back to the video.
Gives us the foreshadowing that, once again, we'll be heading off into space. Okay, on to character creation. Our stats are very D&D derived, though they function differently than they did in Ultima 1. Strength now dictates which armors we can wear. There was a bug in the initial Apple II release, you could never raise strength, so you'd have wanted to take it as a high level right off the bat. Agility tells us which weapons we can wield, and also, along with strength, determines what we hit. Armor functions like armor does in D&D by making us harder to hit, but stamina reduces how much damage we take when we are hit. Charisma and intelligence together determine what kind of shop discounts we get. If the combined value is 40, we get a 38% discount. If we reach 86, that goes up to 62%. But if they reach 160, then prices skyrocket to 400%. I'm not sure if this is intentional or a bug, but it's probably the latter. Gold is pretty scarce in the game, and we're going to be doing a lot of grinding for it, so saving money is our biggest concern here. Wisdom covers our chance to cast spells. Again. Note, however, that these spells are only useful in dungeons and towers, both of which are entirely optional and honestly a bit useless in Ultima 2. We'll dip in during this playthrough to show them off a bit, but there's nothing mission critical inside, and they serve far less of a purpose in grinding than they did in Ultima 1. For our character, we're going to go with a 16 in strength, 29 in agility, 10 in stamina, charisma, and wisdom, and a 15 intelligence, because each of these scores will be modified by our choice of race, gender, and type. In a bit of 80s gender essentialism, playing a male character gives us a +5 to strength, and a female gives +10 to charisma. Saving money is a bigger deal than doing damage.
Bro, this game is like, yeah, we know that males and females are biologically different, clearly. So, man strong, woman smart. I fucking love it. That's why we have like different leagues of basketball and football. Could you imagine LeBron James like ducking on the women's court? Fuck, dude. Dave Chappelle did a great skit on that shit. I think it was Dave Chappelle. Fucking LeBron James would be scoring 102 to like 0. Like, you'd just be fucking crushing the women's sports. Anyway, that's just what that shit reminded me of. But let's get back to the video.
Damage, at least in the beginning, so female characters are objectively a stronger option. So let's do that, giving us the +10 to our charisma. Next we have race. Elves get agility, dwarves get strength, humans intelligence, and hobbits wisdom. We go human, bringing our intelligence up to 20, helping us hit that 38% shop discount. Note that there's no selling anything in Ultima, too. The only source of gold...
Hold on a second, I skipped that. I just checked out for a second. Did you say that females gave them better charisma?
+5 to strength, and a female gets +10 to charisma.
+10 to charisma. Bro, man strong, woman super fucking pretty. Like, dude, double the fucking points for female and charisma. He's like, yeah, she's got tits and ass, so that's like 2 more things that the man doesn't have. Oh my god, that's fucking epic. Wow. Yeah, like, yeah, you would choose female every time. Just because you just get so much charisma, unless you're planning to go like a full strength build or some shit like that. Alright, anyway, let's get back to it. But yeah, the +10 charisma, goddamn. Female's overpowered.
Is a bigger deal than doing damage, at least in the beginning.
I don't blame them.
So
I like females too.
Characters are objectively a stronger option. So let's do that, giving us the +10 to our charisma. Next we have race. Elves get agility, dwarves get strength, humans intelligence, and hobbits wisdom. We go human, bringing our intelligence up to 20, helping us hit that 38% shop discount. Note that there's no selling anything in Ultima, too. The only source of gold is fighting, and all enemies give a pretty paltry range of treasure. There are also chests in dungeons, but they're kinda dangerous for the reward offered. Finally, we have type or class. As in the first game, they give us stat bonuses. Additionally, wizards and cleric each get their own list of spells, and fighters and thieves can't cast anything this time around. Since spells only function in dungeons and we're not going to visit them more than once, we're going to go fighter because the bonus of strength to 15 compared to the other types bonus of 10. The last thing we need is a name, and we're going to go with what the later games used to depict the protagonist of the first 3 games.
Shit. Press the wrong button. Fuck me.
And here we are. As in the first game, we're dropped into the middle of a vast landscape, only this time we don't have any weapons or armor, and there aren't any points of interest to offer guidance. The tile map is the same as it was in Ultima 1, but it feels a little more compact, and it is. We have 4 different historical eras to visit, along with a solar system's worth of planets, so taken together, it is a much bigger world. And like the first game, we need to eat food constantly or starve to death. The good news here is that we only have to eat 1 unit every 6 steps, not every other. Unlike the first game, this rate is not reduced in dungeons or towns, making the dungeons even less useful for grinding. Horses will help us outrun our foes, but actually increase our food consumption, so we're not going to get any through in this run-through. The only mitigators are ships, which we won't see for a while. Hits, gold, and experience points are much the same as in the first game, but with a few important changes. First, the only source of gaining more hit points is by giving gold to a king. This isn't just healing, we can pay for thousands of hits, and we'll end up having to. We can't dip into dungeons and fight a few monsters for more hit points like we did in the first game, which make gold much more vital as it fuels both food and hits, and dungeons, again, even less relevant. Speaking of less relevant, experience does nothing. You have levels, but they don't give you anything, and unlike the first game, they don't gatekeep anything. So we can pretty much just ignore that. Our first goal is to find a place to buy weapons, armor, and more food before we run out or get killed by monsters. Without any real context as to our location or the time period, we just start moving to get a feel for the landmass, keenly aware of how vulnerable we are. Thankfully, monsters are very sparse in the game, which makes grinding far more of a chore later on, but it makes our run to safety trivial. If you know where to go, you can make it all the way without even seeing a monster, and to be honest, there's not a lot of space in this continent to get lost in. And if you do run into one, well, their pathfinding is pretty easy to trick into getting them stuck somewhere. Learning to do this effectively is vital for the endgame. We find Town Linda across the channel from Lord British's castle. One of the big improvements in Ultima 2 is that the towns are now scrolling maps of their own with a distinct looking character. And speaking of characters, the NPCs now have something to say if you talk to them. The ones that move around are generic character types, like fools and fighters and thieves and merchants, with a single line to share per type. The static ones, aside from the guards, get a line of flavor text or important clues. These responses don't change throughout the game, but it is a big step up for the genre, and the clue-bearing NPCs set up a precedent that'll echo down throughout CRPG history. The core loop of visiting a place, talking to everyone, then following up on the clues leading to monsters or dungeons or the next clue in a chain. This isn't fully present in Ultima 2, there's only a single linear quest chain and it's not very focused, but this is as foundational as the tile maps were in Ultima 1. Anyway, we equip ourselves with a sword, chainmail, and head out of town. We can't reach Britain without a ship, so we're heading to the other town of the area, Leicester, down in Africa. And that's all there is in this time period, 2 towns and a castle. It feels empty, desolate. We can say that this works as an atmospheric timeline racked by a chronic war, but honestly it feels like Richard Garriott ran out of time. We'll see a few more echoes of a grander plan that were never implemented as we play. In Leicester, one of our static NPCs, the chaste vile nymph, gives us our first clue. Visit the Hotel California. It doesn't mean much to us yet, but taken together with a later guy who will tell us to give gold to the clerk, it'll give us some vital gameplay options later on. For now, though, we're going to stop by the magic shop for a little fourth-wall-breaking humor. Andy Greenberg and Robert Woodhead were the forces behind the rival CRPG series Wizardry. This is, I guess, the...
Ooh, nice, got me a big sack!
There are a lot of little goofy in-jokes in the flavor text, going along with Garriott's rule of cool design philosophy. He was a computer gamer, so he stuffed the game full of things he felt other gamers would think were neat, and that was pretty much as developed as game design was back in 1982. What we're really here for, though, is food, so we're going to buy some. This should be able to last us for a long while. And now it's time to grind. Most of this game is going to be grinding. We're going to need, over the course of the game, tens of thousands of gold, and each creature will give us an average of 10, regardless of difficulty. There's no easier way, there's no way around it unless you're into hex editing save files. It's just a grueling slog.
Hang on for a second, guys. Let me exit out Discord. There we go. Someone joined it, and I don't want that beeping and interrupting the video.
First, though, we're going to grind enough to buy some better armor, and for that we're going to need about 1,000. Most of the enemies on the overworld aren't too tough, and they don't get any tougher, but they don't spawn very often, so it's going to take us a while.
Oh,
The thieves will give
us
a random item when we take them out, which is the only way to farm most of what we'll need for the game. They're pretty common though, so we'll probably have what we need just when we need it, just by the process of grinding gold. Alright, I've killed about 100 monsters to get enough gold for Reflect Armor. The monsters will hit a lot less often now, which is good because we can't yet get across the water to pay Lord British for more hit points. For that, we'll need a ship. There's only one way to get ships in this time period. Steal them from pirates. Vehicles in Ultima 2 require items to operate, and for ships, it's
buy it.
tassel.
Gotta steal it.
We've already got a few from thieves while we were grinding, so no problem there. However, ships spawn rarely. Very rarely. So I'm prepared to spend another 10 minutes to half an hour wandering around until one.
Oh yeah. Could you imagine hearing that fucking sound the whole time?
From the sea, and our ship's cannons are one of the best weapons.
Oh my god. Pew, pew. Make it stop. Make it stop. You get to hear that shit for hours. Not this video, but he's just demonstrating like this is what you're fucking gonna hear, man. It's not like they had a whole lot of noises to choose from. Oh, he finally did it.
Alright, we've got a ship. We can sail around to the British Isles and visit the castle of Lord British. This is our primary means of earning more hit points. For every 50 gold we give him, he'll give us 300 hits. We're going to go ahead and stock up as much as possible for now with all of the gold we earned grinding for that ship. While we're here, we're also going to pick up our first real clues over in the chapel. Bishop Bob directs us to Brother Antos.
This is Bob, man. I want to name these guys. I don't want to fucking name these dudes. Bob, Richard, John, Cena. Fucking just put it in there.
Stars for his kin. That is as direct as the game is going to get. We're not told that this will help us with Minax, or even directly that it's a quest instead of flavor text. In fact, none of the game's NPCs mention Minax or your quest to defeat her and fix the timeline. The next step is going to be heading off to the far-off future of 1990 through the Time Gate. However, there's a problem. We can't bring our ship with us. Time gates only appear on land, so we're gonna need a new ship on the other side, which means grinding for another one.
Oh
Before
my
we
god.
go, we're gonna make sure we have enough food and gold to last us throughout the grinding process. So that's what's next. Fortunately, our ship makes this easier. We don't eat while we're in the ship, and our cannons are one of the most powerful weapons in the game.
What the fuck he just put there? No trespassing sign? What the fuck I'm looking at? Oh, is he just taking out the year? Fuck you.
All right, 100 or so enemies later, and
Bro.
we're ready to go, leaping through the western European gate. This brings us to
Just
1990,
hear,
right in front of Lord British's castle again. Only in the future.
bro. Like, let's put it this way. You heard all that fucking bullshit, all that noise. He's like, I killed 100 or so, and they're rare, and he has to go find them. Like, bro, that's the fucking gameplay. Like, that's it. That's how you grind. Like, you want XP? Go fucking listen to the pew 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 like every fucking second, and try to grind to level up just to get enough coins just to do the next section. And then every step you take, you're fucking eating food. Like you keep buying, like it's a fucking permanent stamina bar. It's fucking, oh my god, it's every step. Like there's some realistic games that do it pretty well, but this shit just would just drive me fucking insane. Like, you have to buy it. Gold's such a rare resource, and then you gotta buy food with gold. But you have to travel all across the fucking land, so you're just burning gold as you go. You're like, man, I sure hope there's a monster over here. I'm about to starve to death, and I gotta save my money. It's like this is like close akin to real life, the most boring fucking grind fest that you could ever be a part of. And this man did it for us. We thank you, sir.
It's almost exactly the same. Time travel is cosmetic. The same creatures inhabit each era in the same mix of medieval and future technologies wherever you go. The towns are different at least, and the landmass does change slightly, but the gameplay is exactly the same. This only makes narrative sense if you squint hard and assume that after Minax caused the apocalypse, the effects rippled backwards through time, and the only survivors are those from the future who fled through the time gates. In reality, though, this is just another symptom of the game's rushed release. With more time, Gary could have given us more towns per era, differences of enemies, and different shops in different times.
Did y'all look at his
I don't
food each
entirely
step?
blame online systems later
I
on.
don't know if you saw this, but he went from like, where were we at? 1628, just from him stepping. Or he started 1033, went down to 22. So like, fuck, dude. He was just, dude. The guy walked into a fucking dude's house, and the guy had to eat like 30 fucking like what? He had to eat like 10 hot pockets or some shit, just to go look at like the fucking room. What is this guy eating fucking M&Ms at a constant rate? Like each step, well, fuck. Can you imagine like this guy walking in? He's like, "All right, just want to let you know, for every step you take, you gotta eat a fucking M&M. No, for the rest of your life. Like, I know this can maybe hard, a little bit complicated in some places. When you drive, you don't have to eat any food. You're fine. You're fine. You're teleporting. I'm just saying, like you're going to the mall, you're with your girl, and like, all right, baby, I gotta make sure I can do enough steps. Like, how much are you planning to walk? Oh, oh, 20,000. Hold on, let me see how many fucking M and M's I got. What, they got 100 a fucking bag? Bro's walking around with a fucking suitcase plus a fucking M&M's, fucking non munching on that shit, walking around town. The fucking wrong with this? Who would do this? Just popping one fucking M&M at a time. Like, don't worry about the diabetes. Each step will burn it. Like, the fuck is wrong with this dude? Why would you put that mechanic in there? Or food's, or the thing is, like, how about this? Let's just say food's really fucking expensive, and you know what? You you eat like a piece of like a gigantic like hamburger or some shit, and then that's like the limited food. Like you're just eating away at your stomach. You can stand still forever. You're not gonna go hungry that way. But if you take a step, we're gonna start munching on that fucking hamburger you got in your stomach. I'm just saying. Oh my god. Anyway, I like the other idea. It's like just carrying it for like a bag of fucking M&Ms, just eating that shit each step. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, sorry, I just had a thought there. Let's get back onto the video.
Sierra Online, I think Richard really had a problem with the scope here, but we'll get into that when we get to the conclusion.
Just num numbing away, boy. Just num numbing. Go to church. What you got there? I got a bag of fucking food, dude. I'm just munching on this shit. Don't you worry about me.
Brother Antus somehow also exists in 1990. Has he been here since 1423 BC, over 2,000 years, or is he also traveling through time? We don't know. He does clarify that we're looking specifically for his father. After a quick trip to the nearby Port Boniface for food, we take the time gate
For food.
1423 BC. Not all time gates are two-way.
Oh yeah.
Some are one-way, and
Oh,
some
enjoy that
use
fucking
somewhere else
noise.
when you try to head back through them. We're headed
Get
to
your
one of
fucking
those
ears
now.
pierced.
We take a short
Should be a
trip to
headphone warning.
America and wait around for the gate. It shows up, we jump through, and we're in the dark, shadowed future of 2112, which looks exactly like every other era for the most part. We're not here for long, though, because we can't go anywhere from this landmass. There's nothing to do except wait for the time gate to return, unless we want to grind for yet another pirate ship, and no thanks. The time gate appears and we're back in South America, only this time 1990, and now it is time to grind for a ship. This will take as long as it did in 1493 BC, though we have a good store of food and hits to keep us for the duration.
What, you just fucking randomly attacking the natives? You're 1990, where you can travel across continents and steps.
Alright, we got another ship. We're not going to sail off anywhere far yet, we've got a little more prep to do. First by visiting New San Antonio.
New San Antonio.
It's the first settlement we've seen with a more modern design. The tiles are all the same, but the layout is more like a modern city.
Costumes. Can you imagine the costumes you could wear right now? They may look something different than white.
And the city here is home to the prestigious Hotel California. Yeah, like the song, Rule of Cool strikes again, and our very first clue was to visit. Talking to the clerk here is the only way in the game to increase our stats. There's a good chance a random stat goes up by 4 each time we give him 100 gold. The trick is, though, there's a major bug in Ultima 2. If we raise a stat above 99, it rolls around to 0. Likewise, if we get more than 99 of any item, it'll revert to 0. And health, food, and gold all roll around at 9,999. So does experience, but it doesn't really matter. This is easy to avoid. For instance, we don't want to raise any stat above 96. And because prices jump after charisma and intelligence get above 160, we want to stop at a combined of 156 to give us that 4-point margin. This is the game's major grind fest, and it's going to take a lot of doing.
Oh
Since
my
enemies
god.
give so little gold, again, 10 gold pieces per foe, regardless of difficulty,
Oh.
it's gonna take something like 20,000 gold to max ourselves out. That's literally 2,000 enemies at the same plodding rate we've been progressing. This is honestly the worst part of the game, and it's also the bulk of the game.
Bro. Fuck. By the way, do you remember that really shitty part I had to do before? It took me like 20 minutes. Nah, it's closer to like an hour. Yeah. It turns out I gotta do it for a full day. Like, I can't. I gotta find these fucking monsters. Like, oh my god. Like, I was gonna go to the grocery store today, but you know what? I just gotta kill these fucking white blobs with a beeping laser sound for hours. I gotta do that first, then we can finish the game. I'm sure glad I could do this. Dude, bro, I would be fucking crying. Like, you gotta imagine, like, after like 30 minutes of this, you'd be like, I gotta go do the math. Like, real quick, I just gotta see how long this is gonna fucking take. And then you realize it's like 7 hours of the same fucking shit in a row because there's nothing else to do. Like, this is it. This is all you can do. And you gotta buy food in the process because every step you take, you're fucking M&Ms, and you're eating all your gold. Like, this is the dumbest fucking, like, this, bro. This guy. I know he tried to make this pretty quickly, but this guy, he really fucking rushed this shit. What the fuck are you doing? Did he ever play test this? Like, yeah, I had to sit on the couch and do the same shit for fucking 8 hours, but that's what I was doing anyway. I was making this fucking video game. Oh my god. Anyway, grindings even existed way back when.
There is, again, no way around this. It's going to take me a few days of real time to make this happen, unless I marathon it in one, which I'm not going to do. So we're going to make this playthrough a two-parter. The next Ultima 2 video will be up in a few days, so subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so it doesn't pass you by.
Okay, so let me check what time it is. Or 4:30. I will. It's getting kind of late for me. Like, clearly, it's like almost 5 in the fucking morning. But what I'll do is we will watch it. We will fucking watch it so you can finish this video. So you don't have to fucking wait for the next one. I won't do it tomorrow. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right the fuck now. So if you want to pause it, save for later, you can. But if not, we're just gonna continue on with it. Let's fucking see this growing fast.
Welcome back to part 2
Oh
of
my
our
god.
playthrough of Ultima 2, Revenge of the Enchantress. I'm Michael Corlem, and I just spent a lot of time grinding through 1,000 or so enemies to earn the coin to max out our stats. We can spend some of our leftover coins on power
bastard.
armor, the best armor in the game, and buy some rumors down at the pub. This was the only way to get tips in Ultima 1, and it's still a good source in the sequel. This time, the tips are either flavor or relating to how items get used, and there are 3 that matter. They tell us that we're
This
going
was
to use
real
skull
torture.
keys and brass buttons for airplanes, and that guards carry keys. Not the skull keys, of which we have plenty from all of our grinding. No, guards carry regular keys for all the locked doors that we've seen in towns. They're the only source, so once again, to save the world, we're going to have to murder a lot of innocents. At least, this time, they're armed combatants and not harmless jesters.
We gotta kill a lot of fucking people.
Guards also happen to be the toughest enemy in the game. Foes we wouldn't have stood a chance against if we hadn't maxed out our stats, and even with that in mind, we're going to want to fight as few as possible. Before that, though, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a dungeon. Well, a tower which works the same way, only in reverse. And while not strictly necessary, it's an alternate place to grind because you can find chests full of money. We're also going to try and find a good weapon here. They're found randomly in chests. Dungeons are visually very similar to Ultima 1 dungeons.
Oh my god.
Distinctions. They're coded in a
Is there always a pole in the way?
load a lot faster.
Or is he turning around in a
If
circle?
you're not playing a caster, you'll need a lot of torches
Okay.
and tools to keep the place lit and disarm traps, which is one of the reasons why I haven't been
I
grinding here
was
instead.
just really confused.
Third, the monsters look much better than the wireframe opponents we fought in the first game. And finally, we can see them from a distance. Once again,
Dude,
you'll
they're
find
in
several
fucking color.
characters on
That's
each level
wild.
in each dungeon and tower. And once again, all the chests are in static locations on each floor, though the contents are random. Trap locations and monster spawns are random too, and there are plenty of secret doors that look like normal walls until you try to walk through them. You can definitely see that there is some
You walk into it.
inspiration from the
Beep!
medieval wizardry series here in this element of the Ultima game. As improved as dungeons are, there's really no reason to visit them unless you're playing one of the Japanese ports. In these, thieves no longer drop trilithium, the fuel your space shuttle is going to need, so you're going to need to head up all the way to a dungeon's 15th floor, which is the only source of the fuel in the game.
Oh my
We're not playing
god.
once of those, and since I have saved up enough torches from killing thieves at this point, I'm just going to grind around until I get a decent weapon. Alright, a few
The
sword, which will be useful to kill the
fucking
first few
depression
guards
in his
until we get
voice,
the
man.
best weapon in the game. We're gonna head back to Port Boniface, near Castle Britain.
Shut up, I could lose that fish. I'm sorry, but like, the fuck? Did you hear that poor man's fucking voice, dude? Oh my god. Alright, hang on, let me get back to it. I gotta hear it again.
Alright, a few
Jesus. Alright. Oh my god. Oh. Please someone click on my video. Do the views. Don't make me have to suffer through all this for nothing. Oh, sweet baby Jesus. Oh my god. Oh, fuck. The absolute just. It's over. Like, he finally. Like, could you. Like, as soon as he got done with that, he didn't do that next part immediately. Like, the dude went outside and had a fucking cigarette, and then he lied down for like 10 minutes. He's like, okay, I'm ready to do the next part. Oh my god. Alright.
few trips netted me a light sword, which will be useful to kill the first few guards until we can get the best weapon in the game. We're gonna head back to Port Boniface, near Castle Britain, and murder some guards. Why here? Well, in each settlement, there's one guard that's invincible and does a ton of damage. You can tell which one it is because they don't say anything when you talk to them. In most of the settlements we visited, they'll sit right near the only exit from town, but Port Boniface's murder guard is near the fountain in the middle of the town, giving us some leeway. Each guard we kill gives us 2 keys. After we kill our first guards, we can unlock the harbor and grab a boat and use its cannons to take out the rest. Other than the invincible one, of course. This is mandatory. You cannot beat Ultima 2 without murdering a few guards. There is no moral response to this, and if you leave and come back, nobody remembers what a monster you are.
Just walk away, no one knows. No one remembers your face. There wasn't cameras yet, they don't fucking know. Thank you, Levi Witnesses. Oh yeah, beautiful beeps. Oh shit, bro's running. Run, bitch, run! He had to get in his boat just to kill those dudes.
Alright, keys in hand, we make our way back to the American South and the new San Antonio, home to an airfield. Before we steal the airplane, though, we're going to do a little more grinding. We're going to need some money up ahead, and then we're going to get the best weapon in the game.
Man, those monsters sure was looking at him hard.
It's here, in the jail, and we need to kill another guard to get in. Using a second key, accesses Sentre the Swashbuckler, who we can buy the sword from for 500 gold.
It's cheap in comparison to leveling.
We equip it, but there's a problem. The guards coming for us can block our way, specifically the town's invincible guards, so we're going to use one of the strange coins we've collected from the thieves to negate time with the N key. This little trick lets us run away from the foes for a short time. Since we do so much grinding, it's rarely useful, but it is great in a few certain circumstances to avoid getting trapped.
That's kind of cool. Like you actually had to play for your retreat. Nice.
We leave town to reset the guards to their original posts and go to steal an airplane.
Hey, I'm back. Wasn't that the guy before? Dude, that's Jim. That's Jim. You know fucking Jim, man. Jim's cool. We got him. Ah, Mike was the other asshole. Jim's cool. I think that's Jim. I can't remember. It's just that Mike guy stabbing the throat. Just dance around it. Dance around him.
The guy in here is hostile to us, and killing him activates all the guards, but we'll be gone before they're even in the building.
Hell yeah. Oh, fucking later, bitches. Deuces. Get in that airplane. Get the fuck out of there.
The L key launches and lands the plane, so
Oh my
we're
God.
off. Controls here are kind of tricky. You can't hover, you're flying fast, and the plane can only land in grassland tiles.
Bro.
We head over to Greenland to wait for the time gate to Pangea.
What the fuck? You trying to land that shit? What the fuck? Oh my god. Like, it's flying constantly, so you have to, like, quickly land it. Oh, wait till he gets a fucking spaceship. Pass. Where are you passing?
Planes aboard
Oh,
the
you're
ship
just waiting
and
time.
taxi through the gates so we can take it with us. To take a look at Pangea, we use one of the magical helms we've collected from thieves using the V key for view. This gives us a somewhat useful map of the area, though settlements and dungeons aren't marked. While this is one big mass, we do have mountain ranges to contend with, something our planes can hop over.
That is a great map. This is all the stuff. Well, where's all the other stuff? I don't know. I just drew the outline, man. They didn't pay me to find the fucking cities. Wait, you flew all over the planet and you drew the entire planet, but you were gonna mark
Finding
like
the
one
Guardian's
dot
Emblem wasn't easy, but we
for a
managed.
fucking city?
This town gives us three major clues. The two astronauts near the east exit tell us that Father Antos lives on planet X. A short distance away, the philosopher tells us that she's got to be at 999. This will make sense once we're in space. There's also an oracle here, providing clues at an increasing scale from 1 to 900 gold. Unfortunately, I reached Pangea with only about 100 gold, and grinding here is kind of a hassle, so I'm just going to grab one clue and go. The queen is the king, and the king is a spy. It doesn't really mean much. If we did have the gold to spend, we'd hear the oracle allude to a ring that we could get from a man under a tree that we'll need at some point. Pretend I killed another 400 or so monsters and paid for
I'm not doing that.
We exit through the nearby time door and end up in 2112 again.
Oh,
This time,
music
though,
to
we
my
have an airplane
ears.
and we can use
Oh
it to
my
find
god.
the post-apocalyptic future's Soul Town, Pirates Harbor.
Dude, I can't wait till he gets out of that fucking plane. Oh, there we go. There's the I'm looking for.
Which, oddly enough, has a weird Soviet-Russian theme.
Oh yeah. Good old ear cancer. Fuck, dude. Get you where you need to fucking go. Oh my god. If I don't listen to it, you have to too. Oh my god.
The village idiot
There we
is
go.
blocking the way to the launch pads, but if we kill him off, the guards will catch us before we can take off. We're going to go to the Pirates' Cove instead, grab a ship, and sail around to the spaceships.
You can't use your time stop thing? Oh, you had to like time stop or some shit. Lock this monster ain't happy with your ass. Ah, press the run button.
And here we go, into space. This is a lot simpler than the space combat minigame from Ultima 1. To go to a new planet, we enter hyperspace and enter the coordinates of the world we want to visit. You may remember from our first video that the game comes with a galaxy chart listing XYZ coordinates for each planet, the Earth being a jovial 666.
This is Mark of the Beast, naughty jungle love.
Some of them have towns. However, landing is tricky, and there's no point to any of it. In perhaps the most vulgar and blatant example of online systems rushing Ultima 2 out before Garrett finished, there are 8 other worlds, each with their own map, and they're almost entirely empty. Venus and Saturn, absolutely nothing on them. Mercury has a single dungeon. The rest do have towns, but no important clues or dialogue aside from flavor text. What we need to visit, the only one of these worlds that matters, is Planet X, whose coordinates are 999, the clue we got in Veridan's town.
Good old ear. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's the noise of the future.
So we warp to Planet X, and this is what happens.
Oh my god.
Our orbit around the planet, and we need to hit the L button to land while we're over grassland, or we die. It's pretty tough, as we have no control over where we're landing. This is the reason why I'm not going to bother landing on any of the other worlds. We cannot save without returning to Earth. We have to do everything all over again if we crashed, and I really don't want to do that. We managed to land between
Oh
Planet
my
X's
god.
Soul Town and
Could you
X's
imagine?
Primo spot and hit the town first. Town Basco.
Fuck, I lost that one. You throw that rod. Oh my god. Come on. Come on. Let's get to it.
Not much to do here but steal a galleon that we could use to explore the planet if there was anything else going on here, but there isn't. So we're just going to land and head to the castle instead.
Just to let you know, the background music's actually my game. It's not that one. That game ain't got no fucking music at all. Dude, the guy was running away from your ass. He's like, I remember, you remember the other city.
By hits that Lord British did, and it's worth stocking up because the endgame is near. But he's not a spy, so the Oracle's clue is pretty meaningless. The Queen does, however, tell us that Father Antos awaits, meaning that we're near the end of the quest line. The path to Antos leads us through a series of locked doors that was the reason we killed so many guards back on Earth. We go through some prison cells, an indoor swamp, and a kitchen area. Finding him earns his blessing with the admonishment to return to claim his ring, and we will! We head back to our rocket, launch, hyperspace back to Earth, and look for a good landing spot. This was much harder than it was on Planet X due to the much more difficult terrain, and we crashed, killing ourselves.
Oh
This is
no.
a frustrating sequence, and we've got to do it all again.
Level 11, bitches.
Stealing the rocket to our landing. And we do. Steal the rocket, fly to X, meet Father Antos, land, get his ring from the guy under a tree in New San Antonio, and do some grinding to earn gold to build our hit points back up. We are now ready for the end game, and for that we fly to 1990 Australia and taxi through the last time gate we're going to need. This takes us to the Time of Legends, a singular landmass full of terrible monsters that are much harder than the ones we fought earlier, though they still give us the same 10 gold. We can fake them out a bit by flying around, landing and letting them swarm our former location, giving us a few to kill on the way to the castle.
Damn. Look at that high action content right there. Fucking murder. Oh man. What did he do? He slapped your ass. Oh, your legs are paralyzed, sir. Sorry, you can't do that. Your legs are paralyzed. You cannot fly that plane. They're very paralyzed.
Our ring lets us pass through this barrier unharmed, and from here we can seek out Minax. We can use our trick that we just used with the airplane and our last strange coins to lure the enemies into some of the central rooms where their pathfinding will keep them stuck until we're done.
Does that do damage to him? You lose HP from that? Let me check something real quick.
Our trick that we just used with the airplane and our last strange coins to lure the enemies into some of the central rooms where their pathfinding will keep them
Okay,
stuck
so he
until
didn't
we're
lose
done.
HP. I guess he must have got something before he passed through that. I might checked out for a second. It's alright. Y'all saw it.
Minax is tough. She hits us with magic missiles as we approach, and as soon as we hit her, she'll teleport to a room on the opposite corner of the castle. The Balrogs flanking her are also a pain. They can put us to sleep. The green idols we've collected offer some protection, but they're not perfect.
Can't you fucking kill them, dude?
We can trap them in the rooms between us and Minax too, and as we run back and forth between these corner chambers, they'll be stuck as long as we don't pass directly below their entrances. But that's the final battle. Hit Minax, run to the opposite corner, hit her again. It's a race between our dwindling hit points and her own, and eventually, we manage to land the killing blow. We're treated to a little animated end sequence, and then we're pulled into a rocket to orbit the Earth over the end text. It's not nearly as verbose as Ultima 1 was, but that's Ultima 2.
Oh my god.
It managed to introduce the basic talk-to-NPC quest loop in a very primitive way, and that influence alone is hugely important, particularly for Dragon Quest and the games that it inspired, like Final Fantasy. Ultimately, Ultima 2 feels like a ghost town made of unmet potential. You can see the bones of a much larger game here, but it is sadly one we'll never get to see. That's one of the reasons why it's my least favorite game in the series. That and the grinding, the endless grinding. It's easy to blame online systems for pushing the game out the door, but this was Garriott's second ever commercial release, and it's just as likely that he had no idea how to scope for a reasonable time frame on a solo project. Eventually, you have to ship, and eventually caught up with him. Next time, Ultima 3, my favorite of the original trilogy.
Oh my god. So yeah, that was Ultimate 2, and
I can say
you could
without
really
exaggeration
see
that X did.
you could really see how like hard those games were, like just
Welcome
how
back to
ridiculous this fucking game was. Especially here, how much grinding you had to do just to level up. You're like, oh my god. It just you had to still ship. Monsters didn't spawn that often. The planet landing sequence, like that's so fucked up. You have no control. You have one button. And you better hope to God you press it over grasslands. You better pray to every fucking god you got that you can do it. Oh my god, like that's just horrible. Like because they didn't want to finish the game. I think what might have happened was if he got to finish it, I think he would have fixed the space landing thing. But he was just rushing. He's like, fuck it, it works. Let's just fucking let's just go. They'll figure it out. I've never landed it, but if you do, if you can figure it out, then my God, you'll be doing great. Because they had to rush him so fast. But yeah, I think if they didn't do that, I think they would have been fine. And I think this game for its time had the potential to be a fairly decent game, but it just turned into a grind fest because guys like I don't know what content to fill this with here. How about you like clicking on fucking monsters? Dude probably wrote out. He didn't do it himself. He just wrote out, did the math. He's like, yeah, that's gonna take like at least 10 to 12 hours. So fuck it. Y'all's fucking problem. Put it in there. Well, it's the end state. I could get to the end and finish this. That's all that matters. All right. Anyways, all right, guys. Fucking rockets, dude. The fucking rockets. just look at this shit real quick. Like, look at this fucking shit. Oh my god, you land it. You gotta land it.
But it is sadly.
Oh my god. Anyway, so that's Ultima 2. But I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'll do the next fishing series. I'll probably do one a week. I already did the first two Ultimas, and next one will be Ultima Exodus, and I'll probably do that one next week because that one's like an hour long. So we'll do a fishing run on that one. All right. So before I go, I want to show you guys. Let's turn this off. Hide. There we go. Let's see what we got. All right. So in our haul today, we caught 14 of those fish, 19 of these fucking fish, 34 of these, and 37 of these. Oh my god. So many fish. All right. And we got plenty of sacks. So let's see what we hauled. I need those nature jades. Like, that shit's super important. Come on, give me some. Just give me some. I think I need like maybe 4 more. Every single one of them are gold. Fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Oh my god. Alright, let's see what these guys we got here. Alright, come on. Guaranteed 2. Alright, cool. That's something, and of course, fucking money. Alright. Let's see if we can make that fucking bow real quick. Or rod, rather. I'll fix my UI here in a second. Alright. So, let's fix the UI. It's its settings. Settings, it's a button. Button. And we gotta fix this real quick. This needs to be spacebar. Set. Okay. So the other one's done. And then we need to do character, gameplay, character, camera. Let's put this guy back to 0. Alright. Boom. Got him. Alright. Let's go. Let's go here. We need to go. see what we got in that box. If I got enough of those jades, we'll make the fucking we'll make that rod. Oh, let's pull up my map. Maps are like super fucking useful. You have no idea. All right, where is this bitch? It's over here. All right, let's check this shit out and let's see what we got. Let's fill in all items. Quick deposit. So we're looking for that jade stone. Let's see it. I have 8, so we're almost there. I need 2 more. So yeah, we'll do fishing again a bit later. Like it's not like super required. I kind of enjoy it. It's a little fun, so I do it every now and then. But anyways, I will catch y'all later. I will probably be. I won't be on tomorrow. Tomorrow is like the 14th. If I am on, it'll be like just for like an hour or two. And if I am on long enough and I'm kind of by myself, I'm not hanging out with anyone, I'll um I'll post that next video. So maybe come out tomorrow. It I will have it coming out Monday though. I think I'll do another one Monday and post it. I think that would be good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on this fine, lovely adventure. And in case y'all want to look at this character that I got here, there you go. She's pretty. But anyways,